Awesome. Thank you. All right, I'll just can you pin the video or my video, I guess? Perfect. Awesome. All right, tell everybody. I'm obviously not Julie. My name is Megan, and I'm actually the head coach at Ocean Rehab and Fitness. I am subbing for Julie today. I used to teach this class every week, so some of you might recognize me. Hi, George. Some of you recognize me from Park. Thank you so much for coming today. There really isn't a theme in the workout today. We're going to do a little bit of total body, which is awesome. And we're going to hit a little bit of balance work today by working on our visual system. So something a little different. I'm not sure if Julie works on that with you guys or not, but we'll get started. So in terms of equipment, if you have some type of a dowel, we're going to use a dowel. This can also be a broomstick, whoever has a hockey stick laying around, a cane if you use a cane, anything like that. Some people use umbrellas. Something like that would work. A band of some sort. If you have some grip stuff going on, it's always a good idea to put loops in your bands so that you can just put them over your hand like so, or even on the wrists, and that can be really helpful. I don't really know, I can't really say what level of band we're going to use because everybody's going to be different. So just if you have a few, just have a few of them hanging around near you. I'll be demonstrating with a pretty light band. And then don't be fearful if you don't have dumbbells, because these can also be bottles of water. They could be soup cans, anything that's just easy to hold that has a little bit of weight. And I will say right now, if you do have some shoulder stuff going on or maybe neck stuff, I will be showing some alternative movements today. But if you know that you're like in the middle of an injury, I know there might be one person in here that has some shoulder stuff going on, you may not even need weights, and you can work on that full range of motion of the joint, and that's also super beneficial, and it will keep you safe. So I'll definitely show different variations. But like always, if you have any questions or anything like that, there's a chat. So just write in the chat and I'll try and answer it as soon as I can. If it's a little bit more personal and you're not comfortable speaking out in front of the group, just wait until the workout's done and then I can talk to you after. I always stay on for a few minutes in case anyone has any comments or questions. Okay, I recognize Angie too. Hi, Angie. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started. To warm up today, if you're sitting in a chair that has like a rest, like a backrest, or maybe it's a scooter or wheelchair or something, if you're able to come forward a little bit, I just want you to have some space behind your back in the chair because we're going to be putting your hands back there. I'm just going to shut the window because they're doing gardening outside. Okay, so take your hands and we're going to make fists. And we're going to go to the very low section of your back, so right before the pelvis. And we're just going to do some I'm just doing small little circles on my back with my fists. So I'm just kind of warming up. This area can get super tight from sitting. And it can also, we can lose a bit of proprioception here if we're sitting for most of the day or if we're just not changing positions. So just kind of motioning in circles, and you can move up your spine a little bit. So just move up a little bit. This might feel really good for some of us, and some it might not feel like anything, and that's fine. But just keep working those circles. You can also start to move your hands out to the edges a little bit. So if we're working in here, you can start to move the hands a little bit wider on your back, and then you can come up even into the low back, like into the lumbar spine here. So just take another 30 seconds or so, and we're just going to warm this up. Feel free, if you have the ability to, put a little pressure into it so that you're able to really get into the soft tissue of that low back. We'll see if this can make a little change in mobility for our workout today. Okay. Almost done there. Okay, good. And then just release that. We're going to go to the next spot, which is going to be traps. So sometimes we can get really tight up in here. So once again, you can do fist, or if you're like me, I like to just gently kind of grab with my hand. So I'm just kind of, a lot of us will feel this right away, but there's like these muscles that run along the neck and kind of out to the shoulder. So just grab that like meaty part, and you can once again use your knuckles and just kind of rock and roll into it forward and back, or you can actually kind of grab that muscle and start to like lift and feels like you're almost separating it a little bit, pulling it up. And if this is like too tender for you, then just lighten it up a little bit. If it feels good, then keep going. And we're just gonna get this area a little warm and mobile so that we can move our neck today. Okay. A few more seconds here. Some of us might have like little knots here. Some it might feel really tense, like a guitar string. That might be familiar to some of us. And that's good. That means this is where we need to be. Okay, shake that out. And then we're going to go to the other side. So finding the area that feels a bit tense. Just working right there. Getting right into it. Probably doing this for another 30 seconds. And finishing that up there. Good. Okay, so we're going to do some nice big shoulder rolls, but we're actually going to be leading with the elbows. So we're going to come in and we're going to think elbows in a circle and circle. So we're creating circles in space with our elbows, and we're thinking touching the shoulders to the ears. So we're really just moving like that whole upper arm and into the shoulder joint. We're going backwards. And 7. And 8, good. And 9. 10, good. And then we're going to reverse it. So now we come forward. Nice. If this doesn't feel good on your shoulders, then you can just do shoulders with your arms down. Okay, so that's the alternative movement. And 6, nice. Get those elbows high. 7, 8, 9, 10, good. Now we're going to get into the neck. So we're going to look to the side, over, and then center. Looking over to the side. Think of your chin staying like as if it's on a table. So we don't want to tip when we go over. We're just gliding and looking right to the side. So the eyes stay level with each other. And over halfway. And 9, good. One more. And now we're going to go straight up. So gently tilt back to expose your throat. Back to center. And now we're not going to hang the head forward because that's going to hurt the back of the neck. We're going to pretend like there's something really high up at the neck, and you're going to tuck the chin and grab. And then center. And that'll be a different sensation. And then tuck, grab something. And then center. Good. And up. And tuck. And up. And tuck. Up. And tuck. And tuck. Okay, now we're going to go tilt. So you're going to pretend like there's water in your head, and we're going to tilt the water and let it pour out of your right ear or your left ear if you're mirroring me. And tip. So just pouring water out of that ear. Be really gentle with this one because we just created a little bit of length now from working on those upper traps. So you might feel like, ooh, that might have more range than you would have before. Or maybe it just feels a little bit, sensation feels different. So just stay gentle with these. And good. 2 more here. And good. And awesome. Nice. Okay, we're going to do a seated cat-cow. I'm going to turn sideways just to show you what I'm looking for. So my when I do a seated cat-cow, it's essentially going to be a roll down. But what I see a lot of is a roll down and a folding forward, where I want us to actually round this part of our back. So as I roll down, I want you to think of taking your sternum, which is right here. I want you to send your sternum back to the wall behind you. So as I do that, my sternum goes back, and it really changes that movement. So we're coming all the way down. So I'll sit and face. That's what it looks like. So here, sternum goes back behind you. So it's truly like a slouch. And we're really rounding that spine. Feel free to grab on with your legs if you need to, just to get a little more range. Slowly roll up. Take your hands, put them wherever you can, somewhere slightly behind you, next to you, wherever's easiest. And you're going to lift your heart and do the opposite. We're going to C-curve the back the other way. Reach your heart up to the ceiling, eyes up, and you're going to try and get a nice big spinal extension. And then we're going to repeat that. So coming back to neutral, tuck the chin. Think of your sternum going back to the wall behind you. So get that sternum back, and that gets us into that rounding forward. Grab onto your legs if you need to. Take a breath here. Slowly rolling up. Hands behind you or next to you, shoulder blades. Think of them going down and back into your back pockets. Reach your heart and chest up to the ceiling. This should feel really nice. Take a deep breath here. Eyes are up to the ceiling, or you can shut them. And again, tucking that chin and then rounding in the spine. Slowly going down. This is our last one today. Slowly coming up. Hands go behind us or beside. Shoulder blades in your back pockets. Reach your heart to the ceiling. Nice big spinal extension. And then coming back to center. Good. Okay, we're going to do some figure eights with our eyeballs. So you can follow along to me if you'd like, or it might be easier to look at your own hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit tall. You're going to keep your chin still. So for some of us, it might be easier if we put our finger, like a thumb, on the sternum, and then a finger here at our chin, and that will help us keep us from doing this, right? Because the goal is to only work the eye muscles. So we're here. You can watch my hand if you'd like, or you can look at your own, and you're going to make the shape of a figure eight, and I only want you to follow it with your eyes. So we're not moving the head. Okay, so only those eyes. So like I said, it might be easier to follow your own hand, but if you want to follow mine, that's fine. Okay, and try really hard not to move the head. So you're keeping your chin nice and still, just the eyeballs are moving. And try and track the finger without letting your eyes jump. It's way easier said than done for a lot of us. Okay, I'm going to switch directions. So if you're following me, get ready. And switch your figure eight. Other way. I'm doing about 4 on each side for those that are doing it on their own. And feel free to slow it down if you need to. Do whatever feels best. Really try and keep your eye gaze on that thumb or finger. I can feel my chin moving, so I'm not in a good example. This is challenging for me too. Let's do one more. And over. Good. So this is a way, believe it or not, to improve balance. Good. Shake that out. So our visual system is a huge component of balance. So this specific exercise with the figure eights is a really good way to challenge all the muscles in the eyes. And that's really easy. You can do it on your own, sitting. Some people like to make a piece of paper and draw an 8 on it, and you can post it on the wall. And then you can just trace your eyes on the 8. And that's a really good way to help strengthen the eye muscles, which will help us for balance. All right, arms out, fingers spread, nice big, like big bear glove hands. And then you're going to do a bear hug here. And then we go again, open, and then other hand goes on top. And open, and other hand. Good. And open, and good. If this doesn't feel good on your shoulders, then I would take the arms down here and open up like this, okay, if this isn't feeling good. And here, open. George, I thought you turned into a cute little cat. And open. And we're gonna reach up. So if you want, you can put a hand somewhere here, or if you have an armrest, you could do an elbow. And you're just gonna reach up and look at your hands. So we're reaching to the ceiling. So we're not coming all the way over here. It's just up to the ceiling, and then other side. Reach up, getting that nice big side body stretch, and up. This might be where you feel a little bit of difference from the massage we did at the back, maybe. And if you didn't, that's fine too. It's all just information. There's no judgment of what we feel or don't. And again, try and use those eyes. Try and look up at the hand if you can. Okay, 4 more here. And again, this is 2. And 3. And 4. Okay, nice big rotation. So you're going to take a hand. You can use this other hand if you want for leverage to rotate. And you're going to rotate and look over your shoulder and try and tap. And then other side. So use those eyes. We just warmed them up. Use your eyes. Look over your shoulder. And that's going to give you more range in a lot of cases. And over tap. And over tap. And over tap. Make sure you're still breathing. And over tap. Okay, almost there. 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. Good. Okay, rotator cuff work. So elbows in, palms facing each other. This is a bit of a brain teaser for those of you that haven't done it. 2 variations. Variation 1, we're going to go open to 1. Open to 2. Okay, if you have shoulder pain when you did these, you're going to stop here. And you're going to reverse it and then come down. Okay, so if you have pain when you go overhead, that's the version. You're going to go 1, open 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, the version, I guess version 1 is going to be 1. This is if you don't have shoulder pain. 2, you're going to take an overhead angel. 3 and 4, and then match up with the other group in and then down. So it's just an angel, or you take the angel out. Open, up. Angel if you can. Bring it down. I know some of us are like, oh my gosh, this is a tough one. I'll do it the whole time, I promise. I won't stop. We can all just keep following along. Just remember not to go overhead with me if it doesn't feel good. And up. If it feels just challenging, then I highly recommend you continue doing it with me. And open, up, overhead, bring it in. This is looking really good. People I can see. 3 more. 1, open, overhead. 2 more. 1. And last one. And open. And bring it down. Beautiful. Good job. All right. Grab your lightest band. So whatever you have that's light. If you need to have a loop in it, that's great. I'll demonstrate with a loop just because it's easy. I'll demonstrate and show you what we're doing. If you're like, oh my gosh, I don't think the band is, I could do that with the band. We can also do it without resistance, or it might be easier to, if you have something light, you could do it with something light. So we're going to do something called sword pulls. Some of you know this. So it's like we're going to be pulling a sword out of our pocket. Like we're going to be dragging it and driving it up, okay? So we start with the band at one hip. You can just like anchor it down with your hand somewhere. Hold the band with your other hand, and you're going to start with that hand in the pocket. The movement here is leading with the elbow. So the trick is we want to lead up with the elbow. Okay, so the elbow goes up. The hand is really close to me, so we're not out like this, right? Up, and then you're going to press it to the sky, and then bring it back the way it came. See how my elbow is still high, and then down. Some people also call this the John Travolta, Staying Alive. Staying Alive. It's like the same movement. And then up. Good. So if you're like, oh my God, that doesn't feel good on my shoulder with the band, take the band away and you can just work this. Or maybe it's a little easier to do a free weight for you. That might be a little easier, okay? So those are the options. So let's go. We're going to do a set of 10. If you've already started, that's awesome. You can keep going. And up. And I'll make mine a little tighter. And up. So this is hitting really, really good part of our back of our shoulder deltoid, some of the rotator cuff muscles, helping open our pec. Nice big stretch here. And a little bit of that stability in the trunk. If you find that it's hard to stabilize and you're trying to sit as tall as you can, sometimes it's helpful to have a visual target. So try looking at something in front of you that isn't going to move and keep your eyes on that object. Make sure it's in front of you though. We don't want to have it off to the side. And that might help you with a little bit of stability. Okay, a few more here. Also, my reps that I do are suggestions. You do not have to do that. If it's too high for you, that's fine. Do what you can. If it's too easy for you, then you can either add resistance or you can increase your reps. Okay, other side. So anchoring out on the other side, other hand ready. Here we go. Elbow leads up and open. Bring it back and then cross. Elbow leads up. Bring it back and cross. Elbow up and then press. Keep the elbow high and then down. Angie, that was awesome. And up, lift, bring it down and across. Good. Elbow up and then press to the ceiling. Bring it down, over. Good. Think of getting nice and tall. For those of you that have the pattern, just ask yourself what's happening in your neck. Are your shoulders as low as they can be from your neck or your ears? So this gap right here, we want to have this gap really big. You don't want to be up at the ears. If you're still learning the pattern, then don't worry. Just focus on that first. Last two. And bring it in. Beautiful. Good. Okay, take that same band and we're going to place it in our hands, palms up. Elbows are going to be in at your rib cage. If you don't have a band or you don't want to use resistance, you don't need one. You can do this and we're going to work on range of motion. So the external rotators, okay? So we're here, elbows stay in and you're going to try and break the band in half and then bring it right back in. Break the band in half and then bring it back in, okay? Or you're doing this, okay? Think of this movement not leading with the hands, but leading with between the shoulder blades. So I always like to use, some of you have heard this a million times, I always like to use envisioning a little blueberry right here, right in between your shoulder blades. And you can even touch there if you want. You can touch, if you can't reach, sometimes it's helpful to grab something and just bring some proprioception to that area at your back. And then when you do the movement, you're thinking of squeezing that area. You're getting your blueberry squeezed by your shoulder blades and then back. So this is actually a posterior exercise. We're actually working the back muscles, even though it looks like all the work's happening in the front. Okay, we'll do about 10. If your band's really light or you want to do more reps, go for it. Okay, last 2 here for me, and then whatever you have left will wait. And nice. Okay, good. Shake that out. Awesome. This is a triple set, so we're going to add one more. Put the band aside, grab your dowel. I definitely did not set myself up well enough to show this full, because basically I would hit my couch if I did this properly. But you're going to think of kayaking. So any of you that have been kayaking, you're driving into the water, driving into the water. The paddle goes into the water, into the water. So it's going to look a little bit more down than I'm demonstrating because I would hit my couch. So you would drive down, let it go through, and then down, let it go through. I want you to use your eyes if you don't feel dizzy. Go ahead and look every time you rotate. So you're going to look and you're going to look. Okay, if that doesn't work for you, then you're going to find that visual target right ahead. Okay, here we go. I'm going to set a timer. We are going to do this all as a group for 1 minute. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and you're off. Okay, you're either looking as you rotate or you are looking straight ahead. That is the choice today. Really drive down, try and stay tall as you drive those arms down into the imaginary water line with that big, beautiful paddle. We're going to pretend like it's beautiful and sunny, unlike today. We'll pretend it's like July. Hoping July is like that. Okay, we're halfway already. Keep going, everybody. Looks good. Breathing. If this feels good and you're getting your heart rate up and you're not going to overheat, I challenge you to go a little faster for these last 10 seconds. Keep going. Boom, boom. Almost there. This is 3, 2, 1, and time. Awesome. Good job, everybody. Okay, this is a lot of shoulder, so take 30 seconds. I didn't tell everybody to get water, but if you have water near you, get a sip or go get some. We'll start this circuit again in about 30 seconds. I'll start the timer. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them now or just catch your breath. So getting ready, just have your band ready again. So the 3 we're going to be doing is our sword pull or our staying alive movement, and then our external shoulder rotation with the band, and then we're going to go back to a minute of kayaks. Okay, that was 30 seconds. Here we go. Picking a side. 3, 2, and 1. Elbow leads, bring it up, and then down. Okay, remember this does not have to be done with any resistance either. It can also be done with something lightweight. Wherever you're at today is perfect. That's what we're going to work from. And 4. So when we get to the final top, make sure that your thumb is up. So the thumb is up to the ceiling like we're hitchhiking. Thumb is up actually the whole time. So the thumb is up and still up and then up. So we keep that arm in external rotation. Okay, 2 more here. And excellent. Okay, other side. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And elbow leads, hand, bring it down and cross. Elbow leads, hand, bring it down. Keep that elbow nice and high. Nice, everybody. Okay, we're halfway here. And counting down, this is 1, 2 more. And last one here. Staying nice and tall. And you are done those. Good. Okay. One more time with these external shoulder rotations. Elbows in, chest lifted. Once again, you can go without the band. Here we go. Think of that blueberry. Squeeze the blueberry between the shoulder blades and then release. And 2. Notice how my elbows are not winging out away from my ribs, so the elbows are staying in place. Okay, if you feel like you don't have a lot of movement on this one, then I would highly recommend you lighten your resistance or just grab a little wider on the band. Okay, we want to try and get some movement there. And last one, and that's 10. Good. Okay, set the band aside. Here we go. 1 minute of kayaks. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and go. So you're either looking with it, really rotating, or you're looking ahead, not looking at anything. Your call. Really dive deep with the hands, get really nice and deep into that imaginary water line. Pretend like you're out on the water, nice and strong with each pull so we can get nice and far. Keep breathing. You are over halfway here. Get a little taller in this last 30 seconds if you can. Nice, everybody. Think of really driving down, rotating. Last 10 seconds here. This is 3, 2, 1, and time. Awesome. That looked really good. Okay, we're done that circuit. We're going to move on. So take a little rest. Grab your weights. I didn't suggest, we're going to be doing a bent over row. I didn't suggest something for your chest. So I'll demonstrate, and then I'll give everybody a choice if they need it. So when we do a bent over row, what we're going to essentially be doing is coming forward and using our thighs as a place to put our chest. So for some of us, if you feel that that's too low and you start to round your back, you might just want to grab a pillow, or I'm just showing with like my sweater. You can just put something on your lap to raise you up a little bit. Okay? Because what I want, if you look at me from the side, what I don't want is a rounded spine like this. And if we get too low and we try and reach our thighs, we can get this rounding. So if you lift yourself up a little bit, you will see how long my spine is. It's like a nice straight line. The other option is if you have the core strength, so it's going to come from your erectors, to not be on your lap and you don't need anything, you can just hinge forward and do this on your own. Okay, so that's a bit more advanced. So grab something if you have it or you need it, put it on your lap, and we're going to hinge forward like so. You really only need one weight. We're just going to do one at a time. So the other hand can either be here to help stabilize you. It can be down at your side. It can be holding on to an armrest, whatever it is. This weight is hanging. My eyes are on the floor. And I'm going to drive my elbow down and back. So we're doing a single arm bent over row. Okay, so from the side, just so some people can see, I'm essentially with my hand, I'm going like this. So my elbow is going down and back, and I'm getting that nice back work. Okay, so those are the variations. So everybody's using one hand. Prop yourself up if you need to. If you don't need to, you can just hinge forward and hold here. Feel free to have a hand somewhere to stabilize you. Okay, and then we're gonna have eyes on the floor so we're not craning the neck, and you're gonna drive the elbow down and back behind you. Okay, 10 of these, or higher reps if the weight feels light for you. Okay, since you probably won't be able to see the monitor, just count for yourself, because we will be focusing on our own repetitions. Timing wise, I just hit 10, so probably ready to switch soon. If you didn't count, I should have said that before to count for yourself. Okay, switching sides, tipping forward slightly. Make sure that spine is nice and long. Eyes on the floor. And here we go. Think of really squishing that armpit. You're driving that elbow back behind you to the back wall. So it's not going up to the ceiling. It's going back behind you. And we're really getting nice squish in that armpit. Okay, last 3 for me. Probably around the same. Unless you want to do more reps, go for it. And 3, and then release. Good, awesome. Okay. We are going to do a core exercise with that. There's a couple things you can do. I didn't really ask you to get a stuffed animal or anything, because you can probably use like whatever you just used for your row. If you find that you need a little bit less weight, or you find that it's hard to sit tall, a stuffed animal or like a pillow or something little would be good. Even like just something like this. You could ball something up and you're just going to hold it. Okay. So this is only if what you're holding here is just too heavy, but we're going to be doing a wheel up. Okay. So some of you know this pattern. This is another brain teaser. So we're going to come in, you're going to tap. If you're sitting in a wheelchair, you would tap the wheel or the rim or your hip. And then we do it to the other side, wheel. And then you're going to go up, and it's like you're listening in a shell. So those seashells those conch shells where you hear the ocean. And then this is the brain teaser. You're going to go back the way you came. So we cross the body and we go down, wheel, and then up the other way. So we cross, 1, 2, up. Wheel, I'm going to keep it slow for right now. Wheel, and then up. Wheel, wheel, and then up. So every time you come up, just remember you have to always go back the other way. Okay, so we're always crossing the body from the up and up. Cross, boom, and then up. Okay, this eventually, we're going to be nice and quick. Okay, so that's the exercise. If you're holding your weight and you're like, oh my gosh, Megan, that's so heavy, grab something else. It can even be a phone. You could hold anything, just something to hold that's light. Okay, if you're happy with the weight, then let's go for it. I'm going to set a timer. Okay, this one is going to be for 40 seconds. Ooh, here we go. Nice and quick. 3, 2, 1, and go. Wheel, wheel, up. Wheel, wheel, up. Wheel, wheel, and up. Wheel, wheel, and up. Nice. 1, 2. Feel free to go off of my tempo if you're super quick, or if you need to slow down, that's totally fine. Feet are flat on the foot plate or the floor. We're not wiggling around in the hips. Over halfway, everybody. You're doing great. Breathing. And time. Woo, awesome. All right, take a little breather. That one is a little bit of a brain teaser, but then once we get the pattern, we can start speeding it up, and that's a really good one to get your heart rate up. Okay, so just a little fun fact, any exercise that we do where we're crossing our midline, so this is our midline, right? Like the imaginary line that cuts right and left. Anytime we're doing exercise where we're crossing that, just like we're doing here, it's actually improving how your right and left brain communicate to each other. So some of us have heard of the corpus callosum, right? So that's what that is. So anytime you're doing exercise where we get to cross that midline, that's what that's helping improve. So it literally is a brain teaser. Okay. Fun fact. All right, let's go back to our bent over row. Okay, so get a sip of water if you need it. And then we're going to do this again. So grab your weight. If you didn't like the weight you were using and you want a different one, feel free to switch it out. Okay, grab your support or whatever you need. If you need to have something on your lap, that's fine. Go ahead and come down, find that nice long spine. Start with whatever hand you'd like. I'll start left this time. Eyes on the floor, nice long in the back of the neck. And here we go. Elbows going to drive to the wall behind you and control and come down. And 4, good. Think of squeezing that shoulder blade, almost like you were going to squish the blueberry with one arm only, one shoulder blade. 2 more. And awesome. Come on up. Okay, other side. So switch. Set yourself up. I'll demonstrate without this time. Get yourself in that nice long position, hinging forward, eyes on the floor. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Drive that elbow behind you and release. Almost there. And 2, and 3, and then release. Awesome. Very nice. Okay. If you're able to, keep the weight you were just holding. We're going to do our wheel up pattern. I'll show it once before I start the clock, just so that we all feel like we get a fair start. So it's wheel, wheel, and then cross. Cross, wheel, wheel, cross. Okay, here we go. 40 seconds. 3, 2, and go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Nice, everybody. Keep moving. Even if you mess up the pattern, that's okay. Just keep moving. Keep the weight really tight to your sides, right up to that ear. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, and last one here. Time. Woo, awesome. Get a sip of water, everybody. We'll do a 30-second recovery. Okay. So you're done with that circuit. Don't worry, we don't have to do it again. But we will be using, just keep one of your weights or one of your, whatever you're using as a weight. So water bottle. And this one actually, the heavier this is, the easier it actually is for this exercise we're about to do. We're going to just work a little bit on isolating the different parts of our arm, because sometimes the brain muddy maps everything all at once and it doesn't recognize the different joints, so shoulder, elbow, and wrist. And what happens then is when we go to grab something or we hold weight or do something, even if it's not weight training, maybe we're grabbing a high dish out of a cupboard or something. If the brain doesn't recognize that all these 3 joints move differently, sometimes it can put a lot of pressure onto one of the joints because it's doing a lot of the work where the mobility needs to come from a different joint. So long story short is we're just going to learn how to isolate one of these joints at the elbow or one of these muscles. So the feedback is actually easier when you have something that has a little bit of weight. It would actually be a lot harder for me to do with something that weighs like this. So don't worry, you're not going to lift it like over your head or anything, but feel free to hold something that you can really feel. Okay. So we're going to hang it at our side. And there's a few ways to do this. For those of you that feel like you have a really good way of like a visual, if you're really good at looking at something, and your eyes, like you can really pick up by watching, I want you to go down and you're going to look at your bicep. So this is your bicep right here. Okay. If you have a t-shirt on, you might want to roll the sleeve up a little bit. If you are not that kind of person and you want to go off of feeling, go ahead and take your hand, your other hand, and just slap it across your bicep. Okay? So what we're going to do, and I'm just moving this down so you can see, we're going to be moving the weight. If you can see my weight, I'm going to be rotating it in and out, but the kicker is I don't want you to let this part move. So if you look at your arm, I shouldn't see any skin in the bicep move when you do the internal, external, or if you're holding, you shouldn't feel the skin under your hand doing this. Okay, so this is a really like individualized, subtle move. So either you're gonna hold or you're gonna look at your own bicep, and I want you to try and move the weight internal and external, and I don't want you to move that bicep at all. And I just want you to focus on this. And it's gonna feel pretty weird, and it's really subtle. And if you're really not sure what's happening right now, you can talk to me after class. Okay? What you might notice is it's a lot harder to move that weight, internal and external. It might not be what you thought. If you try moving it and not caring about this area, you'll see it'll move. So sometimes it's helpful to just move the weight and see, oh yeah, it's moving a lot up here. Now what do you need to do to not make it move? So get about 10 of these out. It doesn't matter how far you go. It's more about just not letting this part move. So what we're doing is we're isolating the radial, that radial muscle in the lower arm. Okay, so it's like a radial movement. Once you've done that 10, awesome. We're going to try the other side, okay? Most people don't have the same stuff going on in their body from right to left. So number one, when you go to the other side, don't expect it to be like the other side you just did, okay? So comparison, not ever really that good. So just start fresh. Maybe just start with doing internal, external, let the bicep move, see what that feels like. Like, okay, I'm doing it. And now either look at it or put your hand, and I don't want you to, and see what needs to happen for you to do that. And if this is something we've never done before, you may not get it right away, and that's okay. This will take practice, and it's just reprogramming or reconnecting the pathways in the brain to let us know, oh, this actually is a different movement than me moving my whole arm. We can isolate this. And this can help create better communication up to the shoulder when we pick things up. Okay. And it's actually quite hard. Like I feel this quite a bit when you have to really slow it down and not move. And like I said, don't worry about if the range isn't very big. Maybe you're getting hardly any movement out now, but that's okay as long as that bicep isn't moving or that skin isn't moving under your hand. That's all I care about. Okay, and then once you've done the 10, awesome. Okay, now I don't want you to have the heavy weight. So if you did switch out to a heavy weight to feel that, I want you to go back to like a soup can or whatever you had to do the wheel up, okay? If it's the same weight, you're gonna go back. We're gonna find the most external position that we just did. This is our last exercise. So this is a really good way to do bicep curls. So you're gonna find that external position without moving the bicep. So that means like the thumb is out. Find as far as you can go without letting the bicep move. And then you're gonna let go, and that is your setup. That is the angle you're gonna do your bicep curl at. Okay, so right here, just hit 10. And 3. And 4. And 7. And this is 10. Good. Okay, other side. So same thing. Set yourself up. Go back to the hand on or eyes on the bicep. Do a couple here, and then just find that the most external rotation you can get, thumb being out, without moving this bicep. And then that's where you do, that's the angle you do your bicep curl at. And just notice if it's different than the other side. I know mine is. My left is way less range. And that's okay. We're just working where we're at. And 6. Make sure that elbow isn't moving. 8. And 9. And this is 10, and relax. Good, awesome. Okay, we'll just do one set of that. Shake out those arms. Just a little bit of a slow down, cool down before we end. So you're gonna look to the side, nice easy neck roll, just down, and then over, just like semicircles here. Over, down, over, down, over, last one. Over, and then big just shoulders coming forward for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and reverse it for 5. So coming back 1 and 2, big deep breaths here, 4 and 5, and awesome. Good. Just shake out those arms. We did a lot of upper body core today. Awesome. Okay, that is your workout today. If you liked it and you want to do more, just as a reminder, these workouts are recorded and they are posted to the Facebook Connectra page. They might be posted elsewhere as well. But feel free to go back and redo these workouts. They're awesome to do. Julie has a bunch. There's a bunch from me. There's a bunch of old ones from other instructors as well. Lovely having you all. If you have any questions or comments, I will stay on for a few minutes. Otherwise, I will be subbing again sometime next month, so maybe I'll see you all again. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your day. Thanks, Gordon.
Thank you. That was great.
Good. Thanks for coming.
I really appreciated the fast movement stuff for getting the heart going. I haven't been able to find that anywhere else yet, and I also wanted to say I have a hereditary spastic paraplegia, so my legs are still working, but it's gradually, ongoing. But I'm looking for stuff to do with my my legs as well.
Okay.
Is there stuff recorded on the Connectra page maybe that do lower limb stuff? Or?
Yeah, we sometimes do. The thing is they're not categorized that way. So you might come across some in there that has some stuff peppered in. Julie typically does the classes like lately. So she might be able to tell you if she might be able to say like, oh yeah, go back to this certain week. I haven't taught this class in quite a few months. So what we could do is we could set you up. If I put my email in the chat, you could email me and I could connect you with Julie, and she could just let you know if there's some in there that have lower body work. Otherwise, we have an online adaptive fitness subscription. You could sign up for 1 month and you could peruse. There's dozens of lower body exercises and workouts on there. And I think 1 month is like, I think it's like $40.
Okay, so you're going to give me your email address in the chat.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then I can just send you all of that information for you.
Okay, fantastic.
I'll connect you with Julie, and then I can send you that other thing as well. You might, because if you just have like a month on there, that'll give you enough time to peruse. It's Ocean Rehab and Fitness.
Megan at Ocean Rehab and Fitness.
Yeah, .com.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
See ya.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kosser.
See you next. You are coming in sometime in the next month.
Yeah, I don't have the dates off the top of my head, but I think I'm coming back another time, maybe next month.
That would be good.
Yeah, so I'll see you again.
Yeah, see you guys.
All right, bye.